it's the Clumsy Shark here, back with another rating climb video, where in this series, I'll be playing through the different chess ratings and explain my thought process through the different games that I play, um, to learn something. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. So we're taking on Anu Rahul 2005 with the white pieces. Let's just open with e4, and let's see what our opponent replies with. e5, some classic stuff. We're applying pressure to this pawn here. Most common response is just knight c6, defending the pawn, even though there's a lot of different ways you can reply to this opening. So let's see what our opponent could reply with. Could always go d5, knight c6, knight, what is that? Knight f6. And our opponent's taking his time to think. Uses his queen to just kind of attack our knight. That's not a problem. We could always just attack. Let's just attack the center real quick. Yep, takes here. And then we'll just grab more space in the center. I have to be careful that this pawn is kind of just hanging a bit. Um, he puts pressure on our knight, which isn't the end of the world. What we could do, either develop the bishop to protect the knight, which actually doesn't seem like that bad of a move, because we just protect our knight, develop a piece quickly. If he decides to ever attack this pawn, we can always just play knight b3, we can just defend it and develop a piece. Um, let's see where some potential other moves. Decides to go for... decides to apply a bit more pressure. I have 2 defenders for 3 attackers. That's not the end of the world. Let's just defend with the pawn. We just have 3 defenders now, so we will get potentially just that advantage. And here, which is great, is that we actually now have 2 pawns in the center, which is amazing. We can quickly develop here, maybe put our rook on the c file, apply some pressure. Decides to play kind of here. We can always just decide to attack his queen, potentially gaining some tempo. That's what we'll do. Let's just attack the queen, gain some tempo, force it to move away. If he decides to move to potentially like any of these squares, we can just find a way to counteract it. Ideally, I would like his queen kind of just to move away. And I think my opponent just ran straight into a fork here. Yeah. I know I'll probably just be giving up this pawn, but that's not the end of the world. I'd much rather give this pawn away and win a knight and potentially damage the pawn structure, which is great. And that's what we want. If he decides to take with any of these 2 pawns, we'll just damage the king side, and our opponent will not have a beautiful pawn structure, except I just completely forgot that I'm pinned again, so let's get unpinned, developer piece. And let's open the king side up. We'll just develop our knight here. Let's develop our knight here, get our rook involved into the action. Potentially, let's get castled as well. This knight also defends this bishop, so if he ever decides to just start applying a bit of pressure, that's not the end of the world. Let's castle, potentially line up our rook with the queen. He decides to attack our queen, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, can always just move it. Yeah, we can always just move it here, targeting kind of this pawn here. Ideally, I mean, potentially I could even just play just the queen here, just take advantage kind of that pawn. But I could also just develop and potentially win tempo against the queen. But let's just take the pawn. Who knows? Maybe I'll just come bite us red back. But who knows? I just have to be careful. This knight kind of is defending my position. decides to just yeah, moves kind of his rook out of the way. Potentially even has some ideas of maybe moving his queen or something like that. I have no clue really, but let's move our rook and line it up with the queen. We could potentially even go for kind of a bishop here, start taking advantage of those light squares, and potentially even here actually. Let's see. Let's see what we could do. We could potentially move our bishop here, attack the bishop. I don't think like right now it's not like he would. There's no really way he could move his bishop, or like move his queen potentially, which where it could still protect the. Oh no, actually, wait. What am I saying? No, that's directly attacking my queen. Anyways, don't forget. Is there potentially a better move I could play? Uh, let's see. As of right now, not really. I could always just decide to apply more pressure onto that bishop and just decide to go kind of here. I think that's what I'll end up doing. Try. Who knows? Let's just kind of pin this bishop potentially to the queen, and maybe let's move. That's actually not a great move because hmm. Yeah, yeah. Forces it. Just kind of have to be careful of threat checkmate threat here. This is not bad actually. This is pretty much what I'd want. Because then bishop protects here. This it kind of is hanging if he doesn't kind of take care of it. His king's kind of in the way. I see what he's going for here now, but let's just quickly stop that actually. I am more than okay trading rooks here if it means protecting the checkmate threat. And he can't potentially go for. I mean, he could potentially go for back rank mate, which isn't ideal. Yeah, decides to apply even more pressure to the queen. I mean, if he wants his bishop to just stay there, I'm more than okay with it actually. If it means kind of forcing a queen trade, I am up material. So let's just do that. Let's pin a bit the bishop, and then potentially even could force a trade of rooks. Decides to kind of weaken his position, which is I'm totally okay with. Let's continue just maybe backing our queen up. I don't know. Let's just keep forcing. Let's just attack the weaknesses. Actually, we're on a dark square here. Still defending this. This is still hanging technically. The king's not in a great position. Yep, decides to take. We'll just take again here on dark squares. So we're not worried too much about the light squared bishop. We could theoretically force. What he wants here is actually wants me to force this trade, and then he can go for the mate. Except I'm just going to ignore that and take advantage kind of here. Because if he decides to go for a trade, I'm more than okay to just keep on defending with the queen. I think I see what his plan is here. So as long as this queen is standing here and guarding this pawn, we should be fine. I still have to be careful of the back rank mate because you could always decide to push the rook here. I still have to take advantage kind of my knight, potentially like rotate it here, attack this weak square. Oh, and actually, I'm so good, I completely forgot it's a double attack. So let's just start taking advantage of here. This pawn's kind of pinned to the queen, so that's amazing. Um, if he decides to even just attack here, I mean, what are the threats? I mean, maybe a check, but it's guarded by here. Maybe he wants to go to this second rank, which isn't the end of the world. I could theoretically even just force a trade of queens, technically. Um, yeah, actually, I think I could. I mean, if I just go here, technically, I just force a trade of queens and I don't have to worry about a checkmate threat. Because if he decides to play any other move, the only checking move on his part is actually guarded by this piece. And if he doesn't want to get checkmated, he actually needs to be able to, he needs to defend it. Yeah. So we're forcing a trade of queens, which is exactly what we want. Decides to go here, which is fine by me. We're defending this pawn still. Now I can actually use my extra piece to start gaining a bit of tempo against here. As long as um, one of these pawns stay defended, we are good and we're in business. We can take this pawn here. This is still guarded by this. If he decides to attack our knight, which is fine by me, we can just move this pawn here. This pawn is defended. Everything's defended, which is amazing. Let's just give a quick check. Let's... that actually was not a great move. Hmm. Because you know what? Let's just move this pawn. This pawn, let's just start making our pawns roll. I would like to force kind of a trade at some point. If I can start just getting these things going. Even though I think there could potentially even be a tactic. Because if he decides to just attack, I mean, I'm more than okay to start keep continuing advancing my pawns actually. That pawn's gonna be dead either way. Let's just go for a quick check, actually. Still probably, I mean, his best bet maybe is just keep on going here. And I think we're promoting to a queen, actually, which is amazing. Because we're getting rid of his only good rook. And then we're just gonna start taking here. And then it should be good. I still have to be careful. I don't mind actually just trading. Oh, actually, maybe it was not a great move. I just have to be careful of this pawn's never gonna make it. I mean, there we go, we just trade and then we just go into potentially just this endgame, which is just amazing. Let's just go with a queen. Um, this is just where it gets a little troublesome. I do not want to stalemate. I want to do anything but stalemate. Potentially even here, but he's still... Let's just think. We have 2 minutes. Because if we move the knight here, we check. All of this is kind of blocked out. So the only move for our... Hmm. He's kind of in this... He's in a box. Which is kind of what I want. 'Cause that's blocked off. That's blocked off. That's blocked off. And theoretically, I just stalemate. Ah, let's not take any chances. I mean, he's kind of just he's in a box, so I'm not taking any chances. So I just have a minute 56. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, he's kind of in a box. I still think, wait, let me see. If I go here, maybe I actually had something. No, no, he wasn't a had this. Oh, you've got to be, wait, actually, no, I think maybe, okay, he's in this box here. I've got it here. I would have just checked him, so he theoretically had two legal squares, here or here, and yeah, there's no way my queen could actually like checkmate him. Hmm. If there's a quick pattern, just please let me know in the comments below. I'll do some studying on how to checkmate with a queen and a knight. I mean, definitely know how to checkmate with just a king and a queen, but once you add another piece in, it is just much harder for me. But yeah, we'll learn at some point. So our opponent's just thinking, and I'll just cut this out, and I'll meet you when either he's resigned or I'm close to winning the game. Okay, and our opponent resigned, so we got another win. So let's go. Oh my god, so awkward. Uh, well, yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then consider dropping a like on it. If you're new to the channel, I want to see similar content like this, then be sure to smash that like button. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the